If your digital downloads aren't selling on Etsy and you feel frustrated and ready to give up, keep watching. In this video, we're going to go over why your products are not selling, the easy steps you can take to find products to make, and why a lot of sellers' products flop. So let's take a look at why your products aren't selling. A lot of sellers create products that they want to sell, throw the listing up on Etsy, and then when the product doesn't sell, they say,
Etsy is too saturated, or there's too much competition.
And yes, Etsy does have more products, more sellers, and more competition year after year. But the real reason that the products aren't selling is not because it's too saturated. It's because product research is required before you sell anything on Etsy. If you're just choosing general products, then there could be millions of the same product. You have to get a little more specific and find keywords that people are searching for. The approach of making anything you want and putting it on Etsy may have worked in 2016, but things have changed. To be able to compete, you have to find what I like to call product gaps. If you're wondering what a product gap is, it's a product that's searched for by lots of people, but has very few of that product for sale on Etsy. In other words, low competition and high search volume. This means your product has a way higher chance of getting purchased, even if it's at the bottom of the list. That list is really small. Once buyers start purchasing your product, then it gets pushed up in the search results and you start making more and more sales, and then it snowballs from there. So how do we find these? Let's go over to my computer and I'm going to show you exactly how I research this to find product gaps for any product that I want to make. Okay, so I'm going to do my research on Sales Samurai. And the first thing I want to do is start out by choosing a type of product I want to sell. So for this example, let's say a birthday invitation. So I'm going to go over here to search, and then I'm going to put in birthday invitation. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here to Etsy most trending, and I'm just going to take a look at what we have in this list right here. There are tons of pages, but this is what's coming up at first. So this is what I'm going to go with. You can also organize these by search volume or by competition just by clicking the little arrow here. Here's what we're looking at. So just birthday invitation has 26,000 searches and 746,000 competition. That would not be a good keyword, because only 26,000 people are searching, 746,000 people have a birthday invitation for sale. So not saying don't use birthday invitation, but you need something to go with birthday invitation. Same thing for invitation birthday. Those are like very general terms, so we need to be more specific. So this next one, otter birthday invitation, 19,000 searches and only 170 competitors. This is what we call a product gap. There are way more people searching for this than people selling it. So this is a potential product. So if you wanted to save this keyword, you can just click on the heart right here and it'll have you add it to one of your lists. Let's keep going down and I'm going to point out some other ones. So plain birthday invitation, this one has 18,000, almost 19,000 searches, and then only 2,500 competition. Now, this is still a good product gap, but this one's going to be harder than this one because there's less searches and more competitors. So it's still a potential one, but if you want to be able to rank faster and get sales faster, I would go for the ones with the lower competition. I usually, especially for beginners, recommend starting at under 1,000 competitors, but you know, you can use your own judgment for your own shop. Pool birthday invitation. There's a gap, but this is a lot of competitors, so I would not go for that one. I would add something to this pool birthday invitation, like a specific theme of like a pool party. Raiders, I would not touch with a 10-foot pole because that is trademarked, so don't do that. Selena, no. Shark, this is another one that has some potential, but a little bit higher competition. Now you see what I'm saying about a product gap. Now, if you want to ramp it up even more, you can make matching products to go with it, like thank you tags, thank you cards, party games, banners, and other party decorations, all with the same kind of graphics that you're using on the invitation. And then this is going to encourage people to buy more. And you can sell each product individually, and then you can also make a bundle of all the products together. So then you have a higher cost product and you have to make less sales to make more money.
So a lot of products flop because there are not enough people searching for the product, or there are so many of the product on Etsy that you can't possibly get seen as a new seller. And the product just gets lost in a sea of hundreds, thousands, even millions of products that are just like it. Another reason products flop is because they miss the mark on the design. You can tell if this is happening to you by looking at your stats. If you have a lot of visits to your product and people aren't buying, then there's probably something wrong with it. It may just not hit the mark of what buyers want. There could be a spelling error on the actual printable. So a typical conversion rate is 1 to 2%. If you're in that 1 to 2%, then you're probably pretty good. If it's lower than that, then you will want to take a look at your product and see if you can identify what is causing people to visit but not purchase. So the first thing I would do is check for spelling errors. Like I mentioned before, make sure there are no spelling errors. I had a product that was one of my best sellers, and it actually had a spelling error on it. And I didn't know for like 2 years. And then somebody left me a bad review saying that there was a spelling error and they couldn't fix it. I was like mortified. So just be sure you check that stuff. Could be a problem like that. And you can also have someone else take a look and see if they notice a spelling error, because sometimes we tend to like overlook the spelling mistakes that we make. You know, have somebody that you know and trust to take a look at it and see if they can find any spelling errors or other errors that you might have overlooked. And then the other thing I would do is take a look at some of the competitors and see what their products look like. Maybe you're just missing what the customer is looking for a little bit, or maybe they want something a little bit different than what yours offers. I'm not saying as far as like design wise necessarily, but just if there are product features like maybe the size of something or color or something like that. Could just be something as small as that. One thing to keep in mind though is that it does take some time to start getting sales on Etsy. It's not like you just put a product up and it instantly starts selling that day. I mean, that happens to some people, but it's rare. If you're not making sales in the first few weeks, don't start panicking and think you need to go and change everything. You just have to give it time for the algorithm to pick it up and to, you know, get to where people start seeing it. And then as soon as one person purchases it, it helps it start moving up in the ranks. So you just have to be patient in the beginning because it does take a little bit of time. So don't freak out. And that's why I said, look at your stats, because if you're not getting a lot of visits, then that just means you're not getting a lot of people with eyeballs on your product. So there's probably not anything wrong with them. It's probably more of a more people need to see it, and then you'll start getting more sales. My new printables training is coming out next week, and I am so excited. It's going to be at the founding members price for this round. The lowest price it's ever going to be. I'm only taking 15 students this time. So if you want to be sure to get in, be sure you're on the wait list. Go to passivelyeverafter.com and you can sign up for the wait list right there. You'll be one of the first ones to know when I open the doors, and then you can snag one of those 15 spots. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.